We stopped looking for monsters under our bed when we realized they were inside us. Charles Darwin. Every civilization has conjured images of a devil, a being of fire and fury tempting mortals into sin, chaos, and damnation. For some, the devil is literal. For others, metaphorical. But perhaps the most enduring and unsettling interpretation of this figure is psychological. The idea that the devil isn't out there, lurking in shadows or scriptures, but rather in here, whispering from the folds of our minds. This internal devil is not dressed in horns or cloaked in darkness. It speaks in our own voice. It rationalizes greed, masks envy as ambition, disguises fear as caution. It is that impulse that sabotages growth, betrays truth, and seduces us into becoming less than what we could be. This article is a philosophical journey into the meaning, origin, and implication of the devil within. We'll explore it through mythology, psychology, existentialism, and modern living, and ultimately ask, is this devil a curse or a catalyst for becoming fully human? Throughout history, humans have projected internal struggles onto mythic landscapes. The Epic of Gilgamesh, the Bhagavad Gita, Christian theology, and countless indigenous stories all speak of a war between good and evil, not only in the world, but within the soul. In Christian myth, Lucifer was the angel of light who fell from grace not because of cruelty, but because of pride. In Greek mythology, it was hubris, excessive pride or self-confidence that led great heroes to their downfall. In Buddhist teachings, the demon Mara represents not external evil, but internal temptation, distraction, and doubt. What do these tales tell us? That the seeds of destruction are not planted by external enemies, but by internal imbalances, by excessive pride, unresolved pain, insatiable desire, and the refusal to see clearly. The devil, then, is not foreign. It is familiar. It is made of the same substance as us. It is that impulse that sabotages growth, betrays truth, and seduces us into becoming less than what we could be. And when left unexamined, they emerge as projection, prejudice, violence, or internal collapse. One does not become enlightened, Jung wrote, by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The devil within is, in many ways, our shadow, not inherently evil, but dangerous when denied. The paradox is that in facing it, not running from it, we find authenticity. We become whole. Friedrich Nietzsche added another layer to this idea when he wrote, "He who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster." Nietzsche understood that in attempting to conquer evil, whether in ourselves or the world, we often become what we detest. The thirst for power, the obsession with control, the belief that one is unquestionably right, all of these can turn moral people into tyrants. The devil within doesn't just tempt us with pleasure or cruelty, it seduces us with righteousness. That's what makes it so hard to detect. Power, unchecked, transforms morality into dogma. It convinces us that ends justify means, that breaking rules is fine, as long as we are the ones writing them. Thus, the devil within is not the presence of obvious wickedness, but the corruption of good intentions. Existentialist thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir viewed evil not as metaphysical, but as a failure to live authentically. Sartre argued that humans are radically free. We choose who we become. But with this freedom comes anguish, the weight of responsibility. To escape this, we often lie to ourselves. We adopt roles, mimic others, conform to expectations. We say, "I had no choice," or "it's just the way things are." Sartre called this bad faith, the act of denying our own agency. In this framework, the devil within is our cowardice, our unwillingness to bear the burden of freedom,
our preference for comfort over truth. This devil doesn't shout, it whispers, "Stay safe, don't question, follow the script." Hannah Arendt, in her analysis of Nazi officer Adolf Eichmann, described how evil often arises not from monstrous hatred, but from ordinary people choosing not to think. Eichmann wasn't a villain in the cinematic sense. He wasn't snarling or sadistic. He was efficient, bureaucratic, polite. He told himself he was just doing his job, organizing logistics for genocide. Arendt's conclusion was chilling. Evil is not always grand or deliberate. Often it's banal. It happens when people surrender their judgment, when they conform, obey, and refuse to question authority or ideology. This is the devil within inertia, as moral laziness, as the death of thought. In our modern world, the devil within often hides behind self-help slogans and curated perfection. We chase validation through status, image, wealth, or social clout. We sculpt digital versions of ourselves more real than our inner life. But beneath the surface lies a hollowing. We compare, we perform, we compete. We want to be seen, but not known. This devil doesn't resemble Satan or Mara. It looks like burnout, like loneliness, like a smiling photo on social media taken 2 seconds after a panic attack. The modern devil is not fire and brimstone. It's disconnection. It's the gnawing void masked by productivity. It's mistaking attention for intimacy, performance for purpose. Not all evil is dramatic. Most of it is subtle. The temptation to lie when truth would cost us. The urge to take credit we didn't earn. The satisfaction in seeing someone else fail. The silence we keep when injustice speaks loudly. These daily choices shape our character more than any grand act. The devil within isn't only found in extremes. It lives in hesitation, in compromise, in the decision to look away. Is the devil always bad? Or can it be redeemed? Carl Jung believed that our shadow, once integrated, becomes a source of creativity, passion, and clarity. The anger we repress might fuel justice. The desire we fear might fuel intimacy. The ambition we hide might build something beautiful, if aligned with conscience. Likewise, existentialist thinkers argued that confronting absurdity and fear doesn't destroy us, it awakens us. When we face the devil within, we stop pretending. We become real. Thus, the devil is not to be banished, but transformed, faced, understood. Because only by facing what we fear in ourselves can we grow into something whole. In religious tradition, redemption meant salvation, being saved from damnation by an external power. But in a philosophical sense, redemption is internal. It's the act of reclaiming lost parts of ourselves, of integrating our flaws, failures, fears, and refusing to be defined by them. To conquer the devil within does not mean to become perfect. It means to become conscious, to stop running, to look in the mirror and say, "I know what lives inside me, and I choose, despite it, to do good." That is the real triumph, not purity, but courage. The devil within is not a myth to fear or a metaphor to dismiss. It is a reality, deeply human and universally shared. It is the voice that justifies selfishness, the instinct that pulls us toward domination, the habit that blinds us to suffering. But it is also a call, a signal that we are not yet whole, that there is more to learn, more to face, more to become. To be human is to be a battlefield between our higher self and our wounded self, between truth and deception, between light and shadow. But if we have the courage to enter the fire, to face the devil within, we might discover not damnation, but depth. Not evil, but honesty. Not destruction, but a door to the soul.
And on the other side of that door, we may find not a monster, but a mirror. We are each our own devil, and we make this world our hell. Oscar Wilde.